area of the map, the better off I'll probably be in the long run. And we are off. Quick money in Link's house. And it looks like we're just going to get an uncle start from both of our runners.
Yeah, it's standard start for many runners, and not too many variations you can do. Why don't we set this one up, right? We've got this match. This is the last one of the week in the Skullwoods division. Between all the teams, between these two teams in particular, and Waffle House Drive-Thru right now sitting at third place in the division, tied for third. They are fighting for a playoff spot. CLW only at 12 points. It looks like they are out of the race, but still playing for pride and still playing spoiler these last few weeks.
Nothing really found in the Uncle and Sewers, or yeah, the Uncle area, but looks like Pikapals is, I guess, working or gonna head into Escape still. Interesting choice.
Yeah, no weapon, so you can't go far. You can only go as far as the first chest.
Yeah, one of the keys of this mode will be a lot of discussion about what is logic. There's a lot going on. The easiest way to understand it. Oh, now that's a lucky pull. I gotta be honest.
That's amazing. Well, okay, deeper we go.
So, as I was saying, when it comes to logic for this, the best way to think of this is, in order to make sure that you don't lock yourself out of a dungeon, to actually complete a dungeon, imagine that you used keys in the worst possible way. So, for example, Pikapals is going through the escape sequence. There is one key to Hyrule Castle. It is assumed that you would have the Hyrule Castle small key to put all these checks down here in logic, except for that first one where we got the sword.
Yeah, the game kind of expects you to use it in the back before doing anything. All right, well, we did see a half magic pickup on Pikapals and a small key to Ganon's tower here. This play really paid off for Pikapals, getting a sword and a double his magic.
It just has to be a little careful. Definitely setting up for that death warp. And a bottle. And very heads up play of releasing the fairy before taking the death.
Yeah, if he hadn't spammed the bottle, we could have seen a little bit of a misplay where the fairy revives him. But going to the back, this is not logic again, right? The no lamp, no fire rod. So whatever he gets here is just out of logic.
Correct. And we see Demo getting the big key to Desert Palace. Demo did find some bombs, the bush crabs, and also some bomb pickups, as we also see the mirror. And also we see that map to Misery Mire. Just a reminder, this is a key sanity mode, so maps will tell us whether or what a dungeon is in terms of a crystal or a pendant, and Pikapals finds the eastern big key in the Dark Cross.
Yeah, those big keys, you're going to need them for most of these dungeons, maybe Ice Palace notwithstanding. But those maps, you're not going to see a map check maybe until you have the majority of them. You can find out some information from the bomb vendor or Sahasrara anyway. Got some powder here in the back of the well, along with big key to Mire.
Yeah, we also saw that big key to Pod. It is just raining big keys this early, and there's our first of 4 Turtle Rock small keys. Generally speaking, our runners will likely only need 3 of them to clear the dungeon. Usually you'll see runners skip the lava island chest within Turtle Rock. And we get the hook shot out of the chicken hut. So this is a very loaded early seed.
It is, even though you have the mirror and the hook shot, it doesn't open a whole lot for you just yet. However, once things open up, it's going to be a little bit overwhelming, especially if you get early Dark World access. And it's anybody's guess where you should go, because you can go anywhere. All right, Morgana's Tower keys. Map in its place in the library. Now, since Pika did get that sword very early on, right? He might feel a bit more comfortable going towards dungeons, especially say Eastern. He doesn't have a bow to beat it, but Demo has no weapons. Really, just going to explore probably more of the overworld at this point still.
And Demo started back at Sanctuary. Is this going to be a Houlihan play?
Indeed, yeah. So this is one of the few setups for Houlihan. Adjust the camera by leaving this cave, jump down into the water without flippers 3 times, and then drop into this hole covered by the bush. You'll wind up in a state where the game doesn't know where to put you, and instead it puts you in this room with a reward of 225 rupees for you. Great early way to get a bunch of money.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of Houlihan plays in these matches, but if Zora is important, definitely will be helpful.
Well, not only Zora, they've already had to spend some money on the bottle vendor. You're going to need some money for the digging game and the chest game in the Dark World. And also, this is AD keys. You need some money to get into Paths of Darkness, no matter what the prize is.
One of the other checks that is really important here, Pikapals will be able to also check Sick Kid, having that bottle from Escape. And we also get the mushroom out of draining the well, or the dam.
So more big keys, this time to Swamp Palace. Maybe not the most useful big key, but one nonetheless.
Yeah, it'll just be a nice feeling being able to full clear a Swamp Palace on that first visit, for sure, and not have to worry about skipping something. But we get the flute out of Mini Helmasaur, or Mini Moldorm, as well as a small key to Tower of Hera.
All right, so we talked about where to go and what gets blown open. That flute gives us Death Mountain access, and between the mirror and the hook shot, you can do anything on Death Mountain. So I'd imagine Demo's got that in mind.
Yeah, and if Demo can find a weapon, that's also an ability to sequence break a Tower of Hera clear right now. So that sword on Pikapal's side could prove important if Pikapals decides to head up there. In terms of Ice Rod Cave, for chat, it's actually a lot quicker to flute over to 8 at that point if you're going to head back for the Ice Rod Cave instead of, walking from Mini Moldorm.
And that early mushroom we found underneath the water near the dam, he's going to drop that off first. Ooh, picking up some new threads, blue mail. Especially on 3 hearts, that's going to be hugely helpful. And here's the Ice Rod Cave play you're talking about, activating that flute first and then heading to back to 8.
Yeah, I think the other play we likely see pretty early is probably an Agina check. Having the flute, flute to 6, check out what's on that desert ledge, and then do Agina real quick as well. That's one of those locations that if you decide to skip it, can really get away from you.
There's that weapon we were looking for. Not a sword, but a hammer is just as good here. That'll take down Moldorm.
And Demo actually skipping the Old Man Cave.
What a spot for the book, although no sword to activate what's on the tablet. In fact, even Pikapals wouldn't be able to. You need the Master Sword in order to activate those.
We're getting a lot of divergence here just in the early portion. And luckily, nothing is on the Ether tablet, just 10 arrows. And yes, that bunny sprite for Demo is a Truple fish. And there's our Moon Pearl over in Lower Paradox.
So at this point, we're looking for that glove if we want Dark World access. Get Berna, a few compasses, a death for Demo, and a death for Pika. But another item, the Ice Rod, that's a good one.
And that death is really big on Pika's side. Unfortunate. Gonna have to head back over to Paradox Cave again to finish clearing it out.
Yeah, well, Demo's death only took him back to the start of the dungeon. It's going to take a little while to get back over here for Pika. Now, Demo is setting up here a Herapod, a bootsless Herapod. So he's got to align this pixel just right in order to get in. Nicely done.
And luckily, Fairy's right there, so easy to restore health and head back on up. And we get a glove. So all Pikapals has to do is go get that hammer, and we'll have Dark World access.
Yeah, I'd imagine he clears out the mountain before heading back to Ice Rod Cave, just because, what has he got here? He's got Spiral Cave and the Tower of Hera he's likely to complete as well.
And we'll also get some intel on the floating island. And there we go with Moldorm, just doing exactly what we expect, knocking Demo off the platform.
Yep, that's how this boss works. All right, round 2. Yeah, no sword. Using the hammer, but that hammer with tempered sword damage. Probably the best bet, even for Pikapals.
Yeah, it'll be a very vanilla fight for Pikapals at this point. And Pikapals saving and quitting out of Spiral Cave, I think still gonna... Nope, not even returning to the mountain.
Yeah, actually, I thought he might have done the same thing you were thinking. Head back up the mountain through Spectacle Rock, go to Tower of Hera, finish Moldorm as Demo does for a small key to gain this tower, plus a crystal. Another fine option, though, of course, is Back of Escape. Although nothing quite there today. It's probably time for Pika to do a little bit of cleanup, right? He did leave the Ice Rod Cave. He needs that for the hammer for Dark World access, and doesn't have a whole lot of choices otherwise. Maybe Agina.
But Pika is now heading up Death Mountain, so it was just a check of escape. Not a terrible idea. Really didn't spend much time, and it probably would have taken you longer to get back from Spiral Cave over to this side of the mountain anyway. So a save and quit just to pick up that check, you know, maybe find something before heading back up here wasn't a bad idea.
And you know, we may end up seeing Agina into Desert with that book, although we can't finish it. We do have the big key. Could see what's in the back and what's in the big. Oh no, we don't have the small key. So maybe one option for these runners still.
Yeah, and we could, I don't endorse this idea, but we could see our runners steal a key. I doubt we'll see it, but it's always an option.
Yeah, generally you don't steal a key in Desert. It almost never works out. I think it's worked out for me a total of one time I've ever tried it. All right, but that is Dark World access for Demo. Picks up his glove. Cane of Berna also in Paradox Cave. At this point, he's got Spiral, and then he's done Spiral. But
so this is a very interesting play. Actually heading back for Spike Cave, it appears.
Yeah. So he does have the Cane of Berna. It's in logic. No, he's not going for Spike Cave. He's faking us both out.
Gonna get that bottle that we saw inside of Spectacle Rock, and maybe an old man rescue to finish out.
Yeah, this is the bottle Pikapals saw earlier, also, and he's not going to get just because he's got the bottle from Zelda's cell. Also tying it up with a crystal. Nice Moldorm kill for him.
Yeah, just having that fighter sword, not always the easiest battle to do, but very well executed.
Yeah, so we're going to get a Village of Outcasts Skull Woods play here from demo. One of the options he had, the other option, of course, he could have done Hype Cave. Also gone to the bomb vendor there, found the 5-6 crystals, what they were.
Yeah, we currently don't know any of our pendant crystal information in that regard, so plenty of time to figure it out. And that Skull Woods small key we found earlier is actually a really nice piece that we can route with. There are a few dungeons, Skull Woods being one of them, that we don't really need to find small keys to finish the dungeons or reach all the items, but having one can actually really help in routing the dungeon.
All right, so here's that desert play we talked about. Okay, so this is a good find. That fire rod. Now that's access to the end to get Landless.
Yeah, we can kill Landmo at this point, so I would expect to see another boss kill at this point.
Yeah, that was the only thing kind of giving me pause. Ooh, Master Sword. Only thing giving me pause for maybe even suggesting to go into desert is no fire source, but here we are. And that'll be great for Pika when he wants to go to Dark World, because whereas Demo can't head to the back of Skull Woods and finish out Moth, there's another boss for Pika to take down.
Yeah, this play into Escape early, you know, that early, I don't want to call it luck, but it really does feel like luck on Pikapals' side to have found that sword in the Escape, the first chest of Escape, to be able to clear it all. You know, having half magic, having that early bottle, these are little things that aren't going to like greatly affect the outcome of a race, but make your life a lot easier. And I believe we saw a medallion there on the bumper ledge.
Yeah, I missed actually which one it was, but I did see it. Chat telling us it's Quake. So I haven't done the Skull Woods play first, right? It's natural that Demo's going to go and do these north checks. Doesn't have access to Kingstone here, no boots, but the Graveyard Ledge is in play. If you wanted to do something like a Kern jump and head over the water to Catfish and Pod, there's an option. But there was probably more in front of him in Village of Outcasts. See where he takes this.
Yeah, it's especially an interesting choice as we get that Landmo kill for another one of our crystals and a small key to the Palace of Darkness. With the hammer on Demo's side, we don't even have to do the Kern jump to get over here. So this feels definitely like a play just to make sure that that one check and also checking bumper ledge kind of doesn't elude us for too long.
True. Yeah, knowledge is power. So if you know you don't have to do it, right, it's just one less thing off your mind. All right, so right here's the village play we were predicting earlier, and since we found all those big keys, Thieves Town included, this one is, you know, very easy one to choose where to go to.
Yeah, Demo will have to do, if Demo decides to clear Thieves Town, that will be a Hammer blind or also Cane of Burna for blind. But between those two items, shouldn't be too bad of a boss fight. The only concern is having to leave behind that big chest.
Hammer pickup, small Swamp Palace, big key pickup. So there's that Dark World access for Pika. Looks like he might go via Hype Cave. Hadn't seen that yet, and I think that's where Demo's going to route that out near the end, probably just to minimize his save and quits.
Yeah, you can make arguments for either starting play of Dark World. I know a very common one is you kind of hope that by starting here at Hype Cave, if you find those Titans myths, it just makes your whole routing of this early Dark World a lot easier.
Well, you said Titans myths, right?
And the small key to Swamp Palace and another small key to Turtle Rock. So that small key to Swamp is huge. If we find the flippers, that's a full clear of Swamp Palace available. And Pikapals is going to skip checking out the bomb vendor, not really too worried about finding out, what our 5-6 crystals are.
Yeah, you'll find out eventually once you grab enough crystals, maybe enough maps. But it would be good to know, so this way, in case you wind up in a situation, what do you want to prioritize? Because you're missing a few items. That's where you'd want to have that information.
So, yeah, and I think there's another piece to that in kind of these newer. I don't want to call this like modern randomizer, but with the addition of Quick Swap, our runners are going to menu a lot less. And the reduction in menu, it's very possible, a runner just might not notice, hey, I've got the 5-6 right now.
Yeah, very true. You're not going to see that very often. One thing I want to bring up, we had a call out in chat that Pikapals play to Escape early on without a weapon really paid off for him getting a sword. That's something Demo may never end up needing to do, right? He's not been eager to go into Hyrule Castle, and even though that's the first chest there, it was the map chest, no real reason to go in there. There's no other progression for him. So we may see a sword difference here near the end.
As we do get that Tower of Hera big key out of the attic of Thieves Town. So Tower of Hera now is actually in logic as being a clear. There are 2 items left in Hera at this point. We did leave that big chest, and we also, although we had the small key, had to leave the basement because we did not yet have a fire source. And Pikapals is going to be able to do quite a bit here in the Village of Outcasts. Not just are we getting the Smith Turn-In and the Hammer Pegs, but I would hope that Pikapals also considers the Powder, as we see Blind Cell has the Cane of Samaria, which is actually going to be a really great weapon for Blind.
Yeah, much better to do that than Hammer. You got to get so close to Blind, and even though he's going to wind up with maybe 5 hearts, getting this heart under the pot in a second, it's just too close for comfort.
Yeah, I mean, we also have a blue cane, so there's a lot of options for this fight.
might as well bring out both kings, right? One in the left hand, one in the right hand.
Just gonna have to be careful. Already down to less than a quarter of the magic left, and I think that's only gonna get us, 2 hits. So gonna need to get, but there we go. Demo is able to take down Blind. Very nicely done. And we get the big key to Ice Palace. Another one of those big keys we will not necessarily need, but will, allow us to full clear that dungeon. And Pikapals is doing all these overworld Village of Outcast checks right now, picking up the purple chest, gonna deliver that, and also is setting up to be able to check the Bombos tablet.
Yeah, and this time around we'll be able to activate it. We only had the one sword for the Ether tablet, but nothing there. And then on into Swamp Palace, I would imagine.
Yeah, having those flippers and the small and the big for Swamp, that's a full clear of a dungeon in one trip. As we were saying earlier, your ability to single dip dungeons just is the most desirable setup. As we do see Demo skip out on the red boomerang. Pikapals had decided to pick that one up.
Well, didn't have one. Might as well have at least one. There's, some nice spots where it's useful, right? The spots maybe in Ganon's Tower later. Although even then, the blue boomerang is useful for those, just because it doesn't have as long of a travel time.
As we do see Pikapals heading into Swamp Palace, so this will be everything in the dungeon. The only thing that could make the Swamp Palace play a little better, ironically, is the Cane of Samaria. That makes for a little easier of a diver down setup, but this is still going to be full everything in one trip.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get a full Swamp Palace clear in an AD keys anyway, especially this early. There's too much you're missing to not do it.
As Demo is heading through Hype Cave, and we'll get those Titan's Mitts. So the question is, where is Demo going to go? Has a lot of options, but, from what we've seen, this really is go complete Smith Chain.
Ooh, well, there they are.
And we are getting confirmation on those two, so nice on that info, as well as Pikapals finding the boots in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, so in addition to the speed, of course, it unlocks a couple things. King's Tomb, the bonk rocks outside of Sanctuary. We've already done Desert. There was nothing up there, so I don't think we need to go back there.
As Pikapals does very nicely execute that bomb diver down.
Yeah, again, a couple ways you can do certain tech. We saw Harapot earlier without boots. You know, you could have done it with boots. Here, I think you mentioned wouldn't see a diver down because of no cane, but there is the other setup for that. All right, so what do we got on left side? Love, that's good. Lamp is pretty good too. You know, I wouldn't expect either Pika or Demo to necessarily need it for certain areas, but I'm not going to turn it down if it means I don't have to do Dark Mire. And since this is AD keys, you're going to do Aga. You're not going to want to do a Dark Aga room.
Yeah, you know, given that Pikapals does have that fire rod, I wouldn't be too concerned, especially with half magic. You know, lighting the torches in Aga Tower, not terrible, but it does make all those dark rooms a lot quicker. There's definitely a caution that comes with navigating a dark room. So the fact that Pikapals does have the lamp means much easier walking through all of them. Pikapal's not getting pushed far enough there by the bomb. And this is why I personally prefer Canis Samaria a little bit. I feel easier to do the setup, but still pulling it off nicely. We do get another Mire small key.
Yeah, I don't know that setup. I only even recently learned the cane setup, so you know, congrats to all these very talented runners, Pikapals, Demo, and their teammates. Go ahead and give Pikapals and Demo a follow if you like what you see in here. They're doing a great job both tonight and in the league overall.
The diver down setup was found, I guess, last year, was it? And around the same time, a kind of sister technique called Icebreaker was also found, which we will definitely be seeing, at least probably on Demo side, and hopefully also Pikapals.
Yeah, both of them were actually earlier this year. And of course, it would have to be tech related to the Canis Samaria. That's just kind of a oddball weapon when you know all the glitches you can do with it.
Yeah, Canis Samaria has definitely proven to be probably the biggest utility item possible. Yeah, Cane of Samaria, and we'll dive her down, and there's our red mail off of Argus as we get another crystal. But yeah, that red cane and the diver down and icebreaker techniques have pretty much completely changed how people view left side of swamp and even doing Ice Palace. Two dungeons portions that people just have probably hated for a while have become a lot easier.
I mean, it's not so much even that it's easier. You take Icebreaker, and we may end up seeing that fairly soon. Looks, you know, Pikapals is in the area. It's more about just when do you actually do Ice Palace. Some people actually wait until they get the cane just for that convenience.
Yeah, and Pikapals still needs to head into Thieves Town to actually find the Cane of Samaria right now, so... But here comes the Village of Outcast play from Pikapals. I think this is a good idea at this point. You know, there's plenty in this area that Pika was not able to check. And with that Fire Rod and the big key to Thieves Town, we're probably just going to, it looks like we're going to see Village of Outcasts, then head north for Skull Woods, and then work our way east for at least Graveyard Ledge, Bonk Rocks, and King's Tomb, and possibly even over the rest of the way to Quakefish.
Yeah, might as well add Zora to that while you're over there. We haven't seen him yet. There's almost no better time to do it now than how Pikapals is in position to do the Catfish over to Light World. Here, Demo with enough money to do it. Fake flippered over, whereas Pikapals will have real flippers. So if there's something up on the Zora ledge, that could be an issue.
To the question of how big of a difference does this new tech make in Ice Palace, we are talking minutes. Well, versus nothing, yeah, minutes. Versus the bomb jump, I don't have an exact quantity, but I guess probably at least a minute. As Zora does have a small key for us, this time for Ganon's Tower.
Which isn't the worst, right? There could be plenty of exploration here in the basement of Ganon's Tower. You may need up to all 4 keys eventually.
And interestingly enough, Pikapals is dipping out of Thieves Town after doing just the front 4. I think Pikapals wants to wait for that Thieves Town small key. And thank you to Tracy in chat saying that if it's a Go mode Ice Palace, it's probably minimal, but a non-Go mode Ice Palace is actually a lot different. So,
yeah, so here we're seeing, as expected, Peak. We're going to finish out Skull Woods. We'll have the ability to check the ped just after he finishes. And still, I think we still don't know what all of our pendants are yet. Nobody's talked to Sahasrara, nobody's talked to the Bomb Bender, so we don't even... although we do have marked DP and Thieves Town are red crystals.
Yeah, I believe it was Demo who had checked with the Bomb Bender. Yeah. So
yeah, Pika skipped it. Yeah, with 6 unknowns here, we've got a 50-50 shot at this being a crystal or a pendant.
And we do know where our last sword is.
Yeah, that's our last sword. And actually, speaking of swords, we did see that Demo did get the one out of Map Chest in Hyrule Castle. I was actually suspecting he may not head there for a while.
Really good moth fight there by Pikapals. Tempered Sword really does make that fight a lot easier as we get our green pendant off of the moth, and Demo is checking Checkerboard Cave for a small key to Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, of all the keys we've seen, we haven't seen a whole lot of TR or Palace of Darkness. And you need quite a few to get through all of it.
Yeah, we've seen a couple from each. We will definitely need at least one more to finish out Turtle Rock, and that's hoping to not need to do the lava island. And here comes that ped check you were mentioning. So we're gonna know pretty early, are we gonna care?
That's an ether coin up on the ped.
That could be important.
Yeah, we haven't been up to the Turtle Rock area to see what's there, but we'll know in due time if we need to get that ped. Not that it matters too much because this is AD keys. You're going to get all the pendants. It's just now, what do you prioritize? And, will you eventually do a map check to see what you need to get that pedestal? Here's the stealing of that Desert Palace key. Demo went back, took it from the pod, and he's going to check out right side.
I'm hoping that Demo possibly reconsiders when they pulled that fire rod. And I think that is going to be actually part of the play here. Dropping that fairy tells me we could see a potential save scum here.
Well, so he's got the sword coming out of this big chest. He'll get the fire rod coming out of there. I don't know if you'll see a save scum.
Yeah, I would seriously reconsider in very few moments here.
He's still heading right.
Wow.
Okay, so this is real interesting because now he's. Ooh, okay. He was going to be down a Desert Palace small, and we have not even seen it over on Pikapals end. So that could have been unfortunate. Let's see what happens.
So instead, Demo is going to set up for a save scum still. So what's happening here is Demo is going to do a save and continue. They'll be able to start from that right door, and we'll be then heading into this door, check these two items. If there's nothing on the right side here of Desert Palace, we'll get a reset, and Demo will get back that small key. First up is a small key to Skull Woods. Definitely not worth keeping.
Bow is one of the things I'd consider keeping. Yeah, he's keeping it.
And Demo says, I will keep that bow.
So he's going to have to find that second, or that only key to small key to desert. And Pika may end up without silver arrows if they don't find that other bow. This is intriguing.
Yeah, these little sequence breaks that you can do in this mode, there's a lot of items that can, you find early, and how you play with that item can kind of change things. We've seen a lot of fake powders this week, creative logic through Pod and Turtle Rock, so this is another one of those. You don't see it happen too frequently, but yeah, this is going to be an interesting question going forward. And yes, as chat points out, depending on where that second bow is, that could be very big or not at this point. There's reason to believe both.
Yeah, so at the very least, Desert Palace being a crystal, that key is not going to be in Ganon's tower, so it's not going to be a late find for him. But it still could be out of the way and something that is going to be not too enjoyable to go get. Both fish had keys for us today.
Yeah, I think Pikapals, in terms of the question of heading towards checking the Mire area, I think this is a big question of, can I have that Cane of Samaria before heading to Mire and checking things? Of course, Pikapals also does not have any medallions, so... But looks like Pikapals is trying to find out the information, you know, what medallions do I need? Do I care about the pedestal?
All right, green pendant pickup from the Moth. Once we head over to the Eastern Palace, Dark Palace plate, be able to check out Sahasrara. Now we're going to find out if we need that Ether medallion off of the ped.
Exactly. As Demo is also going to check the pedestal now to find out that it's Ether there. And we're double Quake for this seed. So we just need Cape to gain access to both of those dungeons. We get another pod small key. That is our third for Pikapals. And Demo is heading over to the Eastern Pod area. Demo does have the Eastern Big Key, has the bow, so we will see at least a full clear of Eastern Palace. I imagine we'll also see that green pen turn in momentarily and checking of Sahasrara's closet.
Yeah, that's absolutely the play here. Let's see. So he's only got the one pod small, so unless he finds a couple more, ooh, a shovel. That's gross. If you don't find any more pod smalls, right, you're very limited in what you can do.
Yeah, there's a way to full clear pod with 4 small keys, but you know, you'd like to have more. Having 4 means you have to skip the front door of pod, that first key door, and then you're like routing through Bowlock side multiple times to get to the back. So 5 kind of makes it easier, and of course, if somehow you get all 6, you know, you're golden, especially with that mirror. We do know Quake is on Bumper Ledge.
Yeah, so we are in need of a cape.
So in terms of the big differences of info that we have right now, as Demo does get another small key for Ganon's Tower there, we are getting that basement Hera check just for 10 arrows. So as it stands right now, Demo has found the bow in the right side of Desert Palace by saves coming a key or stealing a key from the back, and also has our Cane of Samaria from the from Thieves Town.
Now, conversely, Pikapals found the boots in Swamp Palace, which Demo can't get to because there's no flippers, which Pikapals found off the smiths. So, you know, a little bit of plus and minus for both of these runners, which explains all the different routes we're seeing.
And here's Pikapals making that play to the mire area, wanting to check out what's that medallion there. We'll get the good news.
Pick up that 4th sword here in the right chest as well.
Yeah, one of the benefits, I guess if you want to call it that, of 80 keys is you generally see very high, most equipment. We will be very well equipped by the end of this. And yeah, we're not going to see a bow for Pikapals for a bit. Pikapals does not have a small key. Instead of burning it, stealing the key, Pikapals took that small key and went straight back to Landmolus.
Yeah, both of these are very strange situations because now I'm not sure whose position I like better. The one without the bow or the one without the desert key?
And I am surprised Pikapals is heading for Eastern Pod at this point. You know, Pikapals can do quite a bit there, but I would have thought that the clearing of Ice Palace might have been a little bit higher on the list. But this could be Pikapals kind of hedging on finding items or keys to make those dungeons better. So like Pikapals did not head through Thieves Town, and I'm guessing that's waiting hopefully to find the small key, and could be waiting for the big key of Ice Palace right now.
All right, very nice Armos fight.
Yeah, and we get another crystal, so we are just knocking crystals out very quickly. As Chad had pointed out, we don't know what Mire and Turtle Rock are yet. If those are both pendants, the cape very well could be in Ganon's tower.
Yeah, in this situation, right, I would suggest you just play through the seed. You may end up on a cape hunt later, but don't go out of your way and sacrifice progression just to find a cape, because you may end up last locationing it somewhere in GT, like you're saying. Yeah, with just the one pod key, you're not going to open the middle door. You can get quite a few more chests if you just save that one key.
Yeah, we'll likely see, so we're going to see this right side, and then use that key to get through to the back portion and see the rupee basement, the mini the turtle room, as well as probably a hammer jump into the dark maze.
Yeah, and then you can also reset and come back to the Stalfos basement at the beginning as well. Quite a bit of debate on, if the right move was keeping the bow or would have been keeping the Desert Palace key. Chad is having a real good debate about it.
Yeah, it's we're seeing great arguments both sides. It is a tough decision to make, and I don't have a better answer either. Now, while we saw Demo have to use that right side to get through any of Pod, Pikapals came in with 4 Pod small keys, so we're gonna see a little bit more of a just go for it strategy here. Check, burning keys pretty quick.
Yeah, and have the luxury to see what this big key chest is. Only a single arrow, so no value at least. But yes, with all of this, if he had the bow, he could actually finish this.
And Demo did find a small key to Pod in that dark basement, as well as the small key to Thieves Town. That's actually huge. We can assume that Pikapals will be heading into that area and get that small key, and should clear Thieves to get the Cane of Samaria very soon.
Yeah, and with that, you can clear out Palace of Darkness. Came in with 1 key. We weren't expecting a whole lot, but that changed a little bit of the plan here. Ooh. Missing the hammer yump. And he needs to get that hammer yump to get those chests on the left side. Otherwise, he's going to burn that key he just found.
Yeah, and what we will see is Pikapals will actually be also able to check the Harmless Hellway here. So Pikapals is going to be able to do everything in this dungeon except for the right side. And there's our other bow. Oh no, that is... I don't think we're going to see Pikapals get the silvers at this point, but that is... this is what chat was talking about. We know there's 2 bows, and at this point, Pikapals has found the second bow. So unless Demo finds that Desert Small, this could prove very, this could be a huge problem going forward.
Well, we say, Pika's not going to get silvers. Demo is likely not to get the silvers either. Once he's done with Pod, I don't expect him to come back unless he's still searching for the cape or the Desert Palace small key. Not going to find it over here, though.
And to the point of this would be our first logical bow in the seed. It is very likely. I just don't think we can guarantee it yet. Oh. Yeah, we can't guarantee that's our first bow. That bow is locked behind 6 pod smalls. We have found only 5 of them so far.
Yeah, it really depends on where one of those 2 small keys would be. Where that Desert Palace small is, or where the last pod small key is.
But yeah, this, if you're watching, tuning into this race, pretty much every decision has worked out in Pikapals' favor so far. Routing on Pikapals' side has just been, everything has worked out, is the simple way to put it at this point.
Yeah, from the get-go, he went into escape with nothing, found a sword in the first chest, and was able to finish out with half magic and a fairy in a bottle. I mean, that was a really lucky gamble.
Yeah, and one of the things that, we haven't talked much about it, but the boots is just keeps adding time. This isn't like a little bit of a time where Pikapals had the boots versus Demo. This is, Pikapals has had the boots now for a good 20 plus minutes.
Yeah, every second that the Demo doesn't have them is kind of a half a second he gets further behind. We did see a map check. We saw that Pod and Meyer are crystals. So that would mean Ice and Turtle Rock are the remaining pendants.
So we do know that the cape will not be inside a GT. That doesn't mean that there can't be anything in GT that we need. As you can see, we still don't have that GT big key, and we haven't found either Castle Tower small. And here's an interesting sequence break for Demo heading into Ice Palace at this point.
I was actually wondering if he was going to bother doing this. Yeah, so question in chat. You know, we know that Quake is needed for our 2 medallion dungeons, Mire and Turtle Rock. Quake is on Bumper Ledge, which requires the cape. So it's kind of a hunt for the cape as one of our key items.
Cane of Samario was inside of Thieves Town. So I imagine that will be Pikapals' next play. And, you know, this, a lot of people probably, you might have heard that term this week. A lot of people have said A, B, C, D, always be clear in dungeons. At this point, Pikapals can stick to this. Eastern Palace, go to Thieves Town, full clear Thieves Town. Go to Ice Palace, it's just one after the other. And we did see that icebreaker on Demo side.
Yeah, so we've got really only a few places where we should look for the cape. Ice Palace being one of them, right?
And we did actually get that cape in Ice Palace.
Yeah, okay.
So if Pikapals follows the logic here, or just that ability to clear dungeons, we're going to see Eastern, Thieves, Ice, and then Mire.
Yeah, that's probably the optimal route, just given where everything is, where we know everything is.
And I think there's a chance that Pikapals will route in that Skullwood's big chest as well. Found that Skullwood's big key recently. And, you know, this is probably the last time Pikapals will be over this way except to pick up that Quake medallion.
Now, knowing where the cape is, that's at least item no mode. We still need Castle Tower keys. We need the GT big key, and we need the Turtle Rock big key.
And one more TR small key.
Indeed, yes.
Red Cane is in Thieves Town, so we will see that on Pikapals' side very soon. And the other piece of new information we're going to get out of Thieves Town is we're going to be able to check out the Thieves Town big chest.
Yeah, having that small key is certainly why Pikapals put this off after dipping it so early. Went through the front 4, mirrored away, and now with that small key and a hammer, he can go through the rest of it.
And yes, our runners do have the exact same seed. So an hour and 10 minutes ago, they started the seed. The goal in this one is all dungeons key sanity. They must clear every dungeon.
Yep, and key sanity meaning that all of the dungeon items, maps, compasses, small keys, big keys, are spread out through the world just as the items would be randomized. So adds quite a bit of a variance on the normal randomizer. All right, no trouble on Cold Stare. Demo took him down really quickly. He's got to end up doing this Smith chain real soon.
And returning into Village of Outcasts tells us that's probably coming up. Although instead, okay, starting with the Skullwoods big chest.
I suppose work your way down. Because once you go through the, Smith chain, the purple chest, you really isolate this Skullwoods big chest.
And this is one of the advantages of having a sword for the blind fight. Seeing a perfectly scripted blind on Pikapals' side, so. And just more confirmation to Pikapals there, like, here's the Ice Palace big key. Please go to ice.
All right, so I know that some runners will put off the Smith chain, and with Demo finding progression, even though it's out of logic, that cape is out of logic, he's still finding progression. He's still going to follow that chain. I wouldn't be surprised if Meyer is next on his list.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that is going to bring Demo away from Blacksmith. Sees I've got the. Oh wait, maybe not. Okay.
Yeah, back into the Village of Outcasts, it very well could be Smith chain. So here come the flippers if he does so off the Smith. That would lead him to Swamp, that would lead him to the boots.
And of course, the elephant in the room is still that desert small key.
Well, we've seen everything to this point save Meyer and of course TR. But we know it's not going to be in GT. So really running out of locations it's going to be in. And let's just add some context to this, right? This is week 6. You're starting to see the playoff picture form in the league standings, right? In the Skullwoods division where these two teams are, we've already got one of our 3 playoff spots taken by the Vendrana Drifters. Waffle House Drive-Thru is right up there, tied for 3rd. They are certainly fighting for one of those 3 playoff spots.
Yeah, and on the other side, CLW is pretty much eliminated at this point from being able to make the playoffs, but definitely in the position to play spoiler here.
Yeah, it's a fight for those last 2 between Waffle House Drive-Thru, Tile Roomies, and Team Kappa, all of which are very close in the standings. All right, so I would suspect here's your purple chest play into Swamp. Same as Pika did. a while ago, but now Demo has the opportunity. We're still not even close to being finished. We still got to find a couple of necessary keys. 2 Castle Tower keys. Gannett Tower big key. TR big key. TR small.
Even with all we still need, I have to say this has been a relatively kind 80 keys overall. By the way, that bomb jump there in Ice Palace is actually really quite an easy one to set up, so really great for being able to route this dungeon.
Yeah, that one's kind of a freebie. There's, 3 bomb jump places in Ice Palace, and that's by far the easiest.
Yeah, really just put yourself up in that right corner, place the bomb, and wait.
All right, all that's left here is our fight with Cold Stare. No problem with the gold sword. Half magic, red mail. These guys are armed to the teeth. Almost a perfect fight. That one got away from him, but with the gold sword, you can bully those into the corner and just kind of immobilize them, take them down in seconds.
And just something that came out in chat, Matt 7898 confirming that Waffle House Drive-Thru is playing against Team Kappa next week, so the two teams who very likely will be tied at 21 points at the end of this week, one of them will be moving up. So unfortunately, even if Team CLW can win out the rest of the season, one of those 2 teams will get points to move ahead of what CLW can max out at.
And playoffs or not, when you look at all the teams in the Invitational League, there's not a bad team among them. It is just very, very competitive across all the divisions.
Exactly. You can look at, if you look at some of these teams from Season 2 versus Season 3, and you're seeing teams that were in the playoffs last year and really doing, really making deep runs there, just having a complete change this season, and not due to lack of skill. It's just how much skill there is in this community. And Pikapals is heading to the Mire area. We're going to get a full clear of Misery Mire here. And that will be Pikapals' 7th crystal.
Yeah, and with 2 small keys, right, you're going to be up in the dark Death Mountain area. You could at least take a dip into Turtle Rock. You can go, far enough. Obviously can't beat it, no big key. Don't have enough small keys. But you can at least scout it out. Maybe the GT big key is up there.
Yeah, that's the question. You know, if are you gonna head into Turtle Rock when you can't clear it, or are you gonna gamble on the basement of GT having the necessary items to finish TR first?
Well, this seed has been all about gambles, right? From both runners. We could see something that we just don't expect. And chances are it's going to pay out just the way these things have been going.
And this is that routing that we were saying earlier for Meyer. Having one small key means you don't have to start on the right side. Instead, you start on this left side. You clear out the torch room, you clear out the cutscene chest, and then just work your way back to the right and eventually just be able to head straight into the basement. So this really does simplify routing this dungeon. And a lot of chat is saying, yeah, they would all want to do GT basement first. And given that we're not really finding anything helpful here in Meyer, I can see why that is the popular choice right now.
Yeah, if you had some indication that you could clear more of TR, right, whether it be either the big key or the or a third small, that might give you a little bit more weight to that. And we missed it, but Demo did finish out Swamp Palace with a Argus kill.
And there's Turtle Rock small. So if we find that Turtle Rock big key, we can clear Turtle Rock.
For just a quick second, and I was hoping that would have been our desert small, because that would have put it in a really good position for Demo to finish out Meyer and then finish out Desert Palace.
And that was our 6th Palace of Darkness small key, so that does mean that we at least had access to that bow logically now. And that's a nice little use of tech there on Pikapal's side, hookshotting over that chest and then dashing back up the bridge. That eliminates the need for the screen to scroll when you fall off the edge there.
Yeah, it's something you'll see in AD keys, not typically in maybe an open seed, just because that's one of the first chests you'll normally check. All right, into the Vitreous fight. It shouldn't be very difficult, right? Again, we've got plenty of armor. Plenty of armory. Only thing that could have been making this a little easier is silver arrows.
And Pikapals is going with the good old reliable NMG strategy here. Just take a step into that acid, damage boost, and perform a spin on those eyes.
All right, that's the 7th crystal. One way or another, we're headed up to the Dark Death Mountain area. GT is open. Turtle Rock, we've got our 3rd small key. So it's really up to him where we're headed next. I'm not sure what I would choose in this situation, but I'm sure whatever he does, we'll find something.
Yeah, and the one thing I think we can say for sure at this point is we know the Desert Palace small key has to be somewhere within the TR set of checks, whether that is our left side, the torch room on the right side, or up through Mimic Cave. It has to be in one of those checks at this point. And yes, we are getting a big bomb check, but we do know the Desert Palace small key cannot be on this. Desert Palace was one of our 5-6 crystals. Logically, you are supposed to have the Desert Small to clear Desert Palace. Always remember that key logic will assume you use keys in the wrong way. So instead of using that back key on to get towards Landmo, you would instead use it to get to right side as Demo did.
Now, is this the last overworld check that we have?
I think it is. Oh, and we're also getting we hadn't seen Pyramid Ledge from Pikapals. And maybe we could see also that first chest of Castle Tower.
Yeah, it could do the first chest. Man, that would be kind of gross if it were a Castle Tower key. But you gotta try it. Who knows? Could be the TR big key, and then it saves you a whole bunch of time.
Yeah, in terms of, what can help Demo kind of close the gap here, it's the difficulty here is just, even if this becomes a massive hunt for keys, unfortunately, Pikapals has been able to clear areas first trip and not just leave a single item left. Pikapals has cleared everything in areas that he's visited. So knowledge-wise, chest-wise, Pikapals has just gone through everything. And it knows that all the stuff needed is up here on the mountain.
Yeah, and so even though Demo did steal that Desert Palace key to get a bow on the right side, he still doesn't have enough pod small keys to have gotten that first bow. So, I mean, in a way it helped, but he is still looking for something Pika doesn't need to worry about.
And Pikapals is heading over to GT, so that will be the check.
Yeah, that actually clear the basement, see what you get, and then make a decision.
I think realistically, this GT basement will give us everything needed to clear TR, and then I figure worst case, GT big key is in TR.
I mean, I can think of worse situations than that.
We just don't have a lot of ways for there to be a worst case right now. I think the only other place that Pikapals can check is Hera Big Chest.
That's right. We did not see that. We saw the basement, but we didn't see the big chest. That Hera big key came fairly late.
Yeah, and unfortunately, given that we know where this this Desert Palace small key has to be on the mountain at this point, this is also a big problem. There's our first Castle Tower small. And our last TR small key. But as I was saying, the fact that we know the Desert Palace small key is here on Death Mountain, Demo will have to climb up Death Mountain, get the small key, go clear desert, and then reclimb Death Mountain to go in the GT at this point. So that's an additional couple of minutes just to get back into GT eventually.
Yeah, best case, it's probably 2 minutes, and that's a huge time sink at this stage of the game. But those 2 keys are a nice find. That gives us access to the second CT chest, and we can go all the way to Laser Bridge with that third Turtle Rock key.
Only problem there is we still are missing the TR big key, so we actually will not be able to reach Laser Bridge yet.
Indeed. Although, it's right there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I should have known that it was going to be in the fire bar room. How silly of me.
I'll forgive you, Jesse. So we're good here with big keys for the mountain. We still need this GT big key. Got everything we need for Turtle Rock at this point. I would definitely foresee Pika finishing out these last few chests and then going through Turtle Rock instead of going up. Oh, there's that third medallion. Hadn't seen that yet. And actually, our tracker is noting that we have 3 Turtle Rock smalls. Was that actually our 4th TR small?
I thought that was. Yeah. I could be wrong that it's possible Pikapals missed one, but I could have sworn that we had seen all 4 on Pikapals' side.
All right, 3 more chests behind Ice Armos. Is one of them that GT big key? Nah. Okay, still only looking for those 2, which is better than looking for more than that.
And we do see Pikapals does have all 4 TR smalls, so yeah, we will get a full clear of TR here, or at least until we find the 2 keys we're missing. We are just down to a Castle Tower key search and a GT big key search.
With every chest at this point in the game, you know, if you're Pikapals, you're thinking, come on, this has got to be it. This has got to be it. There's that second Castle Tower key. I'm just looking for that GT big key, which, well, it could be in Turtle Rock, it could be in the second Castle Tower chest.
Yeah, I think realistically, if we do not find the GT Big Key here, you'll see Tile Room and Hera Big Chest before heading back down the mountain for the second Castle Tower chest. And there's that Desert Palace small key, which does mean Pikapals could go get those silver arrows. Unlikely, but could.
Well, Demo did get the silver arrows, was able to finish out Palace of Darkness in the end here. Yeah, that's all the arrows we're going to see on Pikapals then.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this does mean that Demo will have to go to the Chain Chomp room of TR, leave TR, head back into Finished Desert, go in the GT, and then have to come back into TR a second time. So it's going to be rough routing in terms of that clear.
Oh, and here's something from chat. So if we have no GT Big Key here, and as you suggested, do a Hera Big Chest and Tile Room in Ganon's Tower, could we see Pikapals do right side of Desert?
If it's not in any of these checks here on the mountain, I think there is reason to believe Pikapal's first check would be Desert Palace, just because that's 2 checks there. But until that point, like, I could see Castle Tower second chest being the last location. But you do not leave Death Mountain until you exhaust all your options at this point.
Yeah, you have no clue where your opponent is, what they're still looking for, if they're even looking for anything. And if you have to make that second trip, third trip up the mountain, you're just putting yourself at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at what Pikapals has done so far in this race, and I gotta believe you would feel pretty comfortable at this point. From Pikapal's perspective, you'd have to believe, hey, I know I'm in a hunt for a big key right now, but I've pretty much cleared everything, so I feel pretty good about my choices up to this point.
All right, and which path does Demo take? He's going to open TR, so he doesn't have to make another mirror
Demo
transition.
has to go into TR, unfortunately.
Yes, he has not cleared Misery Mire, yes.
Or Desert, so that's 2 crystals still.
And this is actually his first time up in Dark Death Mountain area. So he's got a lot more to check.
There's that blue boomerang. Our 18th heart.
Well, I think we skipped a full heart on Bob's Torch and Ganon's Tower, so we may see as many as 19 today.
And I believe that would be our GT big key. I think that's the only big key we didn't see. I didn't get to catch the text, but I gotta be pretty sure that is the GT big key.
Yeah, there's nothing else left for us to get. That was the only big key remaining. So, Pikapals is in go mode. Just got to finish this out, climb up the tower, climb up the other tower, and beat the Ganon.
Yeah, so we're going to see a quick finish of Turtle Rock over to GT, climb that and beat Aga 2. Mirror over to Light World to take down Aga 1, and then we will get to see that Ganon fight. Our Castle Tower small keys, we had one in the right side of GT basement and the other one right there in TR.
All right, just gonna head straight up through the gauntlet. And of course, it being 80 keys, you've found everything you possibly could in this. You've got 18 hearts, you've got all swords, armor. I think the only thing we're really missing defensively is the mirror shield.
Yeah, I don't believe I saw that third shield, but could have missed it. That's definitely something runners will skip if they can manage to do so. And there's that Desert Palace small for Demo. And Demo was contemplating just leaving TR at that point.
Well, he doesn't have the big key. Big key is in the firebar room of Ganon's Tower. So by going back here, we're probably going to see Lava Chest and Mimic Cave. And that's as far as he can go. Not even Lava Chest. He's just going to steal this key too. This one's acceptable.
Yeah, given that Demo does not yet have the fourth key, this is usually the play to make. You don't want to grab that chest and then have to search for a fourth key that could be anywhere.
All right, very nice Twizzler of Brooms for Pikapals. And this is as far as Demo can go in Turtle Rock. So I suppose the next thing he could do is Desert Palace. No, he's taking your advice. Exhaust everything on the mountain before you get off of it. This could be Hera big.
Yeah, I think this will be a Hera big play. Unfortunately, we do know that nothing of significance is there at this point. Demo did find the Desert Palace small key. It was in Chain Chomp Room.
Just picking up that last one for fun.
Yeah, I mean, the chest is right there. For all Pikapals knew, that chest could have been the Silver Arrows. We also saw the room right before Mold Orm 2, so, you know, if you can get silvers in your path, it's worth at least trying to find them.
That's true. It costs almost no time to get that chest.
Nice triple to start off the Aga 2 fight, though. And a
finish.
Double triple. Wow. The most ideal Aga 2 fight. That is very difficult to do, and also comes down to some of those patterns you get, and Aga 2 cooperated very nicely.
Yeah, that was such a good fight. So that's Aga 2. Let's head to Aga 1. most ideal way to do this in AD keys is reverse order.
Yeah, if you can finish all 10 of the dungeons, climb GT, and then finish up with Aga Tower, it is the ideal route.
I mean, not only does Aga 2 land you on top of the castle, Aga 1 gives you a full refill of magic and health for the Ganon fight.
Meanwhile, Demo is clearing up Lamolus, and very nicely done with those silver arrows. 1, 2, 3. And that is the 7th crystal for, I guess only the 6th. Demo did not complete.
He has completed Mire. He has completed Mire.
Okay.
I know that because he did a different strat, whereas Pika did the NMG strat. Demo had equipped a cape and dashed right through the eyeballs.
I like that strategy a lot usually as well, so. But Pikapals is just mowing through Aga Tower right now. Nothing is going to stand in Pikapals' way at this point. Red Mail dealing with these light world guards, they can't really hurt you, and you'll take them down in 1 slash.
All right, and welcome SpeedGaming and SpeedGaming 2. Joining us here in a match between CLW and Waffle House Drive-Thru in an All Dungeons Key Sanity race in Link to the Past Randomizer League. Just about at the tail end of this one, Pikapals just has Aga 1 and the Ganon fight to go. Demo made a few different routing choices and has to finish out both Turtle Rock and Ganon's Tower in order to finish. Okay, nice and easy fight for Pikapals so far, no blue balls.
And was that a 0 blue ball for Aga 1?
That was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cooperative. And we are going to get to see on Demo side what that second castle tower chest where it was.
Yeah, with this gold sword, you can slash away, and you get through phases 1 and 2 pretty much immediately.
Yeah, there's definitely a benefit to that gold sword. You know, for newer runners, it can be hard to kind of learn how to do a good 1-in-1 with the tempered sword, but with gold sword, it's guaranteed.
Now, as long as this Ganon would just stop warping around everywhere, could land a hit. Ganon, please. It's not funny anymore. There we go.
As Pikapal's getting the news, hey, those silver arrows, you left him in desert. But at this point, pulling out the fire rod, gonna start going for triples. So you use that fire rod with the torch glitch, of course, and then you can get in 3 spins.
Yeah, it's going to take 12 spins total to finish out the fight. We're more than halfway through now. I think one more cycle of triples will do it. Nope, not even.
Very nicely done. Getting the timing down for those triples can be pretty difficult, but well executed throughout by Pikapals. So get those GGs in the chat as Pikapals does cross the bridge and finishes with an official race time, a GG time of 1:50:44. GG to Pikapals.
Very nice play.
Yeah,
gambles that worked out for him left and right too.
Yeah, and a great time for an 80 key seed. Sub 2 hours, especially 10 minutes sub 2 is just blisteringly quick in this kind of race.
All right, with that 7th crystal, Demo headed into Ganon's Tower. Going to pick up his Turtle Rock small and his Castle Tower small here on the right side. We'll see if we can get Pikapals in here in just a second. And welcome, Pikapals, winner of tonight's race, GG.
Hey, thanks.
So, what'd you think of the seed?
It felt really nice. It felt really straightforward to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have to ask, first and foremost, this kind of starts at your decision, minute 1. What made you want to go into Escape with nothing?
The last few days I've been toying around with this idea in Key Sanity specifically, where maybe I just skip the escape sequence if I don't get the Hyrule Castle small key. So I just uncle route and then grab the map chest and then leave, basically as long as possible. And then you get a sword there and you just can't leave at that point. You have to do the rest.
Okay, I think everybody was very surprised by the routing. Definitely, of course, paid off huge. And you kind of summed it up best. Of every play you seem to make just gave you the next step. It was almost like just telling you where to go.
Pretty much. It definitely felt like I just right ordered the entire game from minute 1.
So there wasn't any point where you thought, man, what are my options? What should I do next?
Not really. The only time I was debating was like, when do I go to Pod Eastern? Because never finding the bow kind of made it hard, especially after watching Nabs and Matt's race where that kind of made a huge difference. But honestly, I don't feel like I put it off too terribly long, or at least too much longer than I should have. It still felt like a good time to go over. But yeah, it was just like when I got the flippers off of Smith, I kind of wanted to turn in the purple chest anyway, so it just turned into a swamp full clear for the boots. Take that, go for the rest of Village of Outcasts and Skullwoods clear, and then everything just kind of routed itself.
Yeah. I will say that kind of waiting for the Thieves Town, was that just a play to wait for the Thieves Town small key?
Yeah, pretty much. I just don't like leaving that big chest in there. It's too far in the dungeon.
Understandable. Now, one of the big differences here you're talking about is Smith Chain, right? Heading to that to get the flippers, heading to Swamp Palace, get the boots. That was a real big difference maker between you and Demo, because he put off Smith Chain for quite a while.
I guess, I don't know what he had for his first trip into Dark World or anything, but having Mitz and Mir, like, at least doing the Smith made sense. I was debating the purple chest, but I wanted to do it.
Well, and that's, a part of it was I think Demo was into Dark World a little sooner, had checked Ice Rod Cave before going up the mountain. But from there, your ability to hit just about every dungeon one time really started to pay off. The other piece, of course, so getting those boots as early as you did definitely helped. But the other thing that really was huge. Demo had decided to steal the Desert Palace small key from the back.
Oh. Hmm.
Yeah. So had found a bow quite a bit earlier, but obviously, you found that that actual Desert Palace small in TR. So
Yeah, and that was a very difficult TR to get into.
yeah.
Having to go into ice to get the cape, to get the Quake medallion. Yeah, I could see how that would change a lot. I've just never felt comfortable stealing small keys and key sanity. It's just too much of a chance of it ruining everything. Only thing I'll do is waste all my small keys and pods opening random one-off checks, because there are enough there that I usually feel safe in getting another one before I can beat the dungeon.
Well,
Yes.
You went into pod with a considerable amount more small keys than Demo. So the first time in, I think he had 1, and you came in, I think, with 3 or 4. So you had the luxury of going through just kind of at your own whim.
Yeah, I had 4, which made the 5th small key found in the back really nice. But yeah, the only one, huge air quotes, but error I felt like in my routing was doing Eastern before pod, just because pod ended up having the bow. And even then, I still like the Eastern play first better, but pod just happened to work better.
Demo is currently going through Turtle Rock, just, routing through everything. Pretty much just, clearing out this dungeon at this point.
So Pikapals, we were talking about how, this is, week 6, only week 7 left. And unfortunately for CLW, even if you win out, I don't think there's enough points available for your team to make the playoffs. But what do we have to look forward next week in Co-op Randomizer?
Yeah, unfortunately, I was doing the math this last weekend. Yeah, I think we had to go 4-0 these last 2 weeks to make it, mostly because of Waffle House and Team Kappa, the 2 front runners for 3rd place, or 2nd place maybe, with Tile Roomies. But those 2 are playing each other, so they're both going. One of them is going to get 8 points at least, so we're out. But yeah, we're still looking forward to the co-op Randomizer stuff. Co-op's a lot of fun. Randomizer is a nice change of pace for every dungeon in the game, basically. It'll just be a fun time for us, I think.
Yeah, and which team is CLW going up against next week?
We're up against the Immortals, I believe.
Yep, you're going up against the Immortals, which consists of Duke Firebird, Rope 788, and Jula Ninja.
Yeah, so that should be fun. I know Julo from a bunch of blind stuff, racing stuff we do together, so yeah, that'll definitely be a fun matchup.
And Demo just found that GT Big Key on Laser Bridge and let it know it was not appreciated, that GT Big Key placement.
Reasonable.
Yeah. And I do believe that I'll just verify. Yes, not soon after that, Demo did put in a forfeit in the race time for this race. So, get those GGs in for Demo as well. Put on a great race. Unfortunately, this is kind of what happens in Rando. These kinds of things happen. As we are joined by Demo. GGs.
It's routing. I don't know what that is.
GG's.
This seed I routed, I think, too safe.
In what way? Because you did make some gambles here. I don't know if I would consider it too safe, but what's your perspective?
Well, I was watching and heard you guys talking about the Smith chain. I completely forgot about Smith chain. I had completely forgotten about powder. I could have bundled those in. I just lost time there. I went back to Agate Tower twice, trying to find the Turtle Rock big key. I think I played it way too safe.
Can you walk me through, like, so you stole the Desert Palace small key, and you wound up with a bow. You had saved just before that. What were the conditions for you to, keep going or to reset and keep that small key?
I almost didn't keep that bow, honestly, because I'm like, that bow is pretty good. I don't know where the other bow is, and Desert is a crystal, so I'm gonna find the Desert small key before GT, which I need to complete Pod and Eastern for. Is like, I think I need to keep this. I did consider leaving it.
Yeah, I can see Bo being one of those very awkward, like, maybe I can leave this and just luck into the other one instead.
And when I found that second bow and Pod, I'm like, what is the logic even trying to tell us?
Yeah, a second bow locked behind 6 pod keys. That's glorious.
Yeah, it was telling us to go to ice, I guess, and get our cape.
Pod small keys were too far into the seed. That really sucked.
Yeah, we mentioned you went into Pod with one key and found a second one, so you were able to get really far just off that one key.
I probably should have completed Pod while I was there, but I thought about I was gonna find more Pod small keys and I'll come back and full clear everything and then clear it out. Maybe I'll be in go mode. I probably should have done that, honestly.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to just, my first time into Pod, I had 4 small keys already, so that was extremely nice.
Yeah, I basically last location, the Dark Death Mountain. I never went up there until the very end. So that really didn't help me out.
Yeah, I was definitely hoping for a bow up there.
I was definitely hoping for that Desert small key, which it technically was up there.
Yeah, it was there, just locked pretty hard.
Yeah, if I found the Desert small key outside of Turtle Rock, I would have gone straight to Spike Cave and then gone the Desert before hopping into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, I'll say from the commentary perspective, Lumaga and I pretty much, by the time Pikapals had went up to clear or check GT and TR, we knew that's where the Desert small key had to be, unfortunately, and it was one of those moments where, we realized the routing required on your end to have to kind of do everything.
I would have loved to have found the small key in Mire. Mire, Ice, kind of Swamp were all garbage. There was nothing in there.
Well, you did find the cape, and that was needed for your medallion.
That was the first chest, but like the rest of it was utter garbage. Nothing was required in there.
Yeah, I'm at least going to give Swamp a pass for having the boots, but Maya was pretty empty.
Oh well, I was all over the place. no reason that I lost. It was my own fault.
So the we did get to talk to Pikapals about this. So in terms of for Waffle House drive-through, it looks like this all comes down to next week with the co-op Randomizer, where your team will be up against Team Kappa, and pretty much a face-off for third place and the playoff spot.
I didn't really consider that, I'll be honest. We're just trying to win as much as we can.
Sure. I just part of being an announcer, I guess, or commentator on this, looking at what the schedule or the standings say. So,
Also,
Yeah.
apologies about all of the disconnects. I don't know what happened. It never said that I lost internet connection. Just, I don't know.
I think we just had one kind of hiccup on our end of things. When you were finishing up Swamp Palace was the only one that was kind of big-ish. But other than that, it looked pretty smooth from our end. Maybe a hiccup here or there, but nothing drastic.
Yeah, I honestly don't know. Thankfully, I remembered 30 minutes into like, oh yeah, local recording. I should do that.
Well, GG's to both of you, and Demo and your teammates, Waffle House. Good luck next week taking on. I'm sorry, did I cut out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yep.
we were
I
all
wasn't sure
waiting.
what happened.
I think it's my keyboard. Anyway, what I was saying is Pikapals, we were talking about this. I think the skill cap is just incredible in this Invitational League. I've had a chance to see several of your races, and I think you guys have done well. Demo, good luck to Waffle House drive-through in week 7 versus Team Kappa, fighting for that last spot.
Thanks. GG's to everyone. Go follow the unsung heroes of all of this, the trackers, who especially had to follow 2 people in a key sanity run. I don't know who the tracker was. Yorka's wife.
Yeah, shout out to Yorka's wife. Be sure to give her a follow. Be sure to give these runners a follow. They did a fantastic job tonight and throughout the season. The commands have been placed in the chat. Be sure to give Radical Sniper 99 a follow as well. And I've been your other commentator, Lumaga. Radical Sniper, do you want to kind of take this one out?
Sure. I believe I think when we had those raids come in from SpeedGaming 1 and 2, there was confirmation that this was kind of closing out the night over on SpeedGaming. But do make sure to check out the schedule for this weekend. There are lots of races still for All Dungeons Key Sanity coming up this weekend, and some great races. So make sure to check that out, and check out the other races coming up, because this one was a great one, and I expect more of the same the rest of this weekend. But until then, everybody have a great rest of your night, and hope to see you all next time.